Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've been feeling completely exhausted lately, and I mean not just physically tired, but deeply spiritually drained by the nonstop demands of modern life, you are exactly in the right place. Today, we're looking at a truly profound piece of spiritual wisdom from a daily Hukamnama, specifically from Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, page 676. And what's absolutely fascinating about this sacred text is how vividly it speaks to our modern sense of burnout. Hundreds of years ago, the fifth Mehl articulated this feeling of deep exhaustion that perfectly, and I mean perfectly, mirrors the endless hustle, the packed schedules, and the overwhelming pressure we face today as professionals. So we're going to unpack this ancient wisdom and discover how it offers a surprisingly practical map for finding real, lasting peace right in the middle of our chaotic lives. Okay, let's dive into this. The text speaks of wandering and roaming around. Now, think about how that translates to your life right now. In the ancient world, a seeker might have physically wandered across deserts or mountains looking for the truth. But today, well, our wandering looks a little different. We wander through endless career ladders. We roam from one company to the next, from one promotion to another, perpetually swiping, scrolling, and searching for this sense of arrival that just always seems slightly out of reach. We pack our schedules to the absolute grim, hoping that if we just move fast enough, we'll finally feel fulfilled. The text beautifully begins by acknowledging this exact state of restless motion. Here is our roadmap for today's explainer, taking us from the hustle to some grounded clarity. 1. The endless modern search. 2. When quick fixes fail. 3. The illusion of Maya. 4. Finding the ultimate sanctuary. And 5. The treasure of Naam. Let's start with section 1, the endless modern search. The fifth Mehl's words about wandering speak so directly to the very modern phenomenon of burnout. I mean, we often work late, we sacrifice our weekends, and we pour all our energy into chasing a fancy title or a salary bump, honestly believing that the next milestone will be the one that finally lets us exhale. But what actually happens? We hit the milestone, and almost instantly, the goalpost moves. We're still wandering. We are desperately looking for an internal sense of purpose in entirely external, worldly places, and this captures the true essence of that fatigue. It's the exhaustion of running on a treadmill that literally never turns off. You're constantly in motion, but never actually feeling rooted or secure. Moving right along to section 2, when quick fixes fail. And this brilliantly illustrates what happens when our usual coping mechanisms fall short. When we feel burnout creeping in, society tells us to just push harder, using worldly devices, accumulate more wealth, get a better title, maybe buy a nicer car, or just straight up outwork everyone else in the office. But the result? We still feel empty. In fact, we become even more heavily entangled in the stress. The English translation of the Hukamnama states this with such profound simplicity. All other devices did not work. I really want you to let that sink in for a second. All the late nights, the networking, the material accumulation, the text humbly admits that as a tool for saving the soul and finding true peace, none of those devices worked. Which brings us to section 3, the illusion of Maya. So the crucial point is understanding Maya. It's super easy to dismiss this as just some dusty, ancient philosophical concept, but guys, it is incredibly relevant right now. Maya is this deeply ingrained illusion that the material world holds the key to our inner peace. It's that little whispering voice in your head that says, once I get that promotion, then I'll be happy. Or once I have exactly this much in my bank account, then I can finally relax. Maya tricks us into believing that temporary physical things can somehow provide permanent spiritual security. And the text actually goes out of its way to show just how all-encompassing this illusion really is. Paradise, the earth, the nether regions of the underworld, the globe of the world, absolutely all of it is engrossed in Maya. What this means practically for us is that you cannot simply buy your way out of this feeling. You can't just move to a cool new city, switch to a different tech company, or run away to a tropical beach and expect the burnout to magically disappear. Why? Because the physical realm itself is wrapped up in this exact illusion of Maya. The solution, therefore, cannot be external, it has to be internal. Let's take a breath and step into section 4, finding the ultimate sanctuary. I sought the sanctuary of the Perfect Transcendent Lord, and all my entanglements were dissolved. Man, this is such a powerful, deeply comforting line. I really want you to think about that word, entanglements. In our daily lives, our entanglements are those endless unread emails, the stressful office politics, the mythical quest for inbox zero, and that underlying anxiety we all have about the future. We are literally tangled up in knots. But the text tells us that the way to dissolve these knots isn't by fighting them, or by working 80 hours a week to somehow aggressively untangle them. It's by seeking true spiritual sanctuary. It's about recognizing a power far greater than our own daily hustle, yielding to it and letting that divine protection completely dissolve the anxiety. So how do we practically apply this ancient wisdom today? Well, it basically breaks down into 3 very practical steps. Step 1, recognize the wandering. You have to be honest with yourself and just acknowledge when you're running on the treadmill, feeling totally exhausted. Step 2, let go of ineffective worldly devices. We have to stop believing that the next material achievement will fix our inner exhaustion. And step 3, seek sanctuary through inner connection, or what the text refers to as meditating on the Naam. This simply means intentionally taking the time to step back from the noise of society, sitting in quiet reflection, and reconnecting with the divine presence already within you. It's a gentle, beautiful pivot from looking outward to looking inward. Let's move to and see how this builds into our final section, Section 5, the treasure of Naam. This concept completely flips the script on what we should actually be striving for. The text tells us, singing the Naam, the name of the Immaculate Lord, all treasures are obtained. Now in the corporate world, a treasure is a big bonus, a corner office, or maybe early retirement. But the Hukamnama reminds us that the true treasure isn't any of that. It's the grounding, unshakable inner peace that comes from spiritual connection. When you meditate on the name of the Lord, when you align your soul with that divine frequency, you obtain the only treasure that actually matters, the one that saves the soul and brings absolute clarity and peace no matter what chaos is happening at your job. I absolutely love this closing line from the translation. Only that rare person whom the Lord and Master blesses with his grace comes to know this. It highlights something really, really important. Stepping off the treadmill of society is not the norm. It's rare. Society wants you to keep wandering, keep consuming, and keep stressing. So to have the realization that you actually need to sit in silence, seek spiritual sanctuary, and let go of Maya, that is a profoundly rare and blessed realization. It requires grace. If you're feeling the pull right now to slow down and connect internally, realize what a beautiful gift that awareness truly is. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a question to really ponder. Are you still wandering, chasing milestones that never quite fulfill you, and using devices that just don't work? Or are you ready to stop, look inward, and find your sanctuary? The wisdom of the SGGS Page 676 warmly invites you to step out of the exhaustion of Maya and into the peaceful protection of the divine. Because the sanctuary is always there, waiting for you whenever you're finally ready to stop wandering. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey today. Take a deep breath, and I'll see you in the next explainer.